I think talking about monetary value of Pokemon cards in content creators' videos has been and currently is negatively impacting the hobby. So why do a lot of my videos talk about evaluating and breaking down the price of Pokemon cards? That's what I want to talk about today. There's a lot to go through, so buckle up. This is definitely a discussion video and is a different vibe to a lot of the kind of content that I've been making. And also this topic is pretty nuanced. It's not just like, these people are bad and these people are good. So bear that in mind when watching the video. So let's start with the current problem in the Pokemon collecting hobby right now: supply, demand, and scalping. There's basically a hierarchy of reasons why it's just so ass to try and collect Pokemon cards now, starting at the top with Pokemon themselves not providing enough product, all the way down to consumers buying too much for them to open themselves. It's a trickle-down problem where each reason can't exist without the reason above it existing. If Pokemon released more product, then wholesalers wouldn't have the need to mark up their prices. If wholesalers didn't mark up their prices, then all LGSs would theoretically be able to sell for retail price. And also with Pokemon supplying more demand, the market price would naturally go down, so LGSs could sell for market price and market price wouldn't be higher than retail. And if Pokemon printed more, then the scalpers would have no reason to exist because there's no shortage of demand of Pokemon cards, and they wouldn't be able to make a profit from buying at retail and selling off instantly, which would then mean that the secondary market is actually alright to buy things on, and you wouldn't be supporting scalpers by buying things secondhand at market value. And if there was more Pokemon product available, then you wouldn't be labeled as a scalper for opening a case of ETBs that you ordered on pre-order before the boom even happened. Now, content creators are somewhere in the middle of this hierarchy, mainly because they have a lot of influence on what people do and think. I mean, Pokerev talked about liking a card once, and people said he was manipulating the market. Now, I'm not saying that Pokerev was manipulating the market, but it did have an impact on the value of that card, so this at least proves that content creators can affect the hobby. And often before taking part in something, people will tend to watch YouTube videos on the thing that they're interested in maybe doing, so they might watch Pokemon videos before starting collecting themselves. And I know that because a ton of people leave comments saying, oh my god, I watched your videos and I wasn't into Pokemon before and now I've started collecting because of you. So the impact of content creators on people who watch Pokemon content is real. Something that basically every Pokemon card creator would do before the most recent boom, and still do now, is show the price of the card when they get a hit. It's a great way to show new people in the hobby, oh, I don't know nothing about Pokemon cards, this one is worth a lot, so it must be good, right? It easily shows the rarity of the card and how cool it is to get that hit. However, when the content then becomes going through packs so fast that you never look at the regular cards, skip to the back for the hit, and get annoyed if you don't pull anything valuable, it perpetuates that mentality throughout the community. Likewise, if you show a big $500 graphic and a cha-ching sound effect when you pull a rare card, it says to the viewers, Pokemon cards aren't about anything else other than monetary value. If your cards aren't worth anything, then it must be pointless. If a new viewer comes in, their perception is molded by the content that they consume. A Leonhardt fan would go to card shows and try and use their influence to pressure vendors into giving them stuff. A goated Pulls fan would only want the most expensive PSA 10 graded cards and then do a coin flip on every purchase. And a Pokerev fan would probably only care about chasing the most expensive card in the set. And I'm only using those as examples of ways that content creators' influence can affect the audience, and therefore the people that are coming into the hobby. And this attracts the kind of people that are only in it to make a profit. A lot of Pokemon scalpers are like sneakerheads that have only come into the hobby to make money. And I know this because I've met quite a few of them when I've been doing my queuing outside stores videos. And that's not me trying to paint them out as the bad guy. To be honest, I don't blame them. If I were them and was making a bunch of money from sneakers, and then I saw a bunch of YouTube videos about people only caring about money and how valuable these certain cards are in PSA 10s, or the insane market value of the new set that's about to come out. It's not even come out yet, and they're saying it's like twice the price of retail. If I was a sneakerhead and I saw that, I'd be like, oh, this hobby is only about money, so of course I'm going to go join and take part of this. I don't even think I'm doing a bad thing by taking part in this, because the people in the hobby only care about making money. So talking about all of the hits that you would get and the market price of all these sets only perpetuates into the community the feeling of it all just being about money. And before Cool Trainer Ryan crashes out on a live stream saying, I'm only attacking Pokerev and I haven't even mentioned Deep Pocket Monster, I'm talking about everyone here. Because basically every single person that opens up product in the Pokemon scene right now puts prices on screen when they get their pulls. I'm not singling singling one person out. This is about the hobby as a whole, but I have to use like some examples as footage and to show in my video. And the problem is definitely deeper than just the sound effect of a ka-ching when the money shows on screen. But we'll get into that later in the video. I also want to add here that I don't think any of this is inherently wrong. I'm just pointing out that making content focused around the value of Pokemon cards and making a profit is definitely one of the contributing factors to why the hobby is so shit to be in right now. And I personally don't want to contribute to that. I also want to add that investing channels obviously definitely contribute to this as well and are clearly in it for the money because that's literally the whole point of them existing, right? Yes, they are definitely a big contributing factor, but their rise in popularity is like a byproduct of what the hobby was. Like, they only exist because of the obsession with money in the hobby. They didn't cause that. The other TCG channels are kind of like a gateway drug to getting into the investment side of Pokemon, where you think you're watching someone open Pokemon cards because they enjoy it, but it's actually a guy focused on the monetary value and chasing the biggest profit. It shows a viewer that that's the only reason to open Pokemon cards, and it changes their perspective moving forward. I also don't like a lot of vendor POVs for a similar reason. A lot of them are like, oh, it's about the hustle and getting the best deal, and like, oh, this card's really hot and this card isn't, like it's some kind of stock market. Now, this is definitely more nuanced because there are a lot of creators that I really like that do vendor POVs. Some are way more focused on profits and some are way more focused on like cool arts, and obviously inherently that content is about making money, but some people you can tell are in it just for the money and some people are contributing to the community whilst also making profit. Again, this is my personal preference, not saying it's inherently wrong to do any of this, just saying how it impacts the hobby as a whole. And personally for my content, I want the focus to be collecting and enjoying Pokemon cards. And I might be crazy about this, but shouldn't that be like everyone's main focus, right? Collecting for fun and not trying to make money? It feels like it's the other way around, where people aren't actually in this for enjoying it and they're in it monetarily and to try and make a profit. And I'm not now just talking about content creators, I'm talking about people in general. You're more likely to come across in the wild a Pokemon collector that is only in it for the money and to try and make a profit than you are someone that actually cares about the cards. I've heard so many stories in my comment section of like parents or teachers that have seen their kids trying to do like trade-up challenges, not to get cooler cards, but to make a profit. They're always talking about the monetary value of their cards when they're going into school and stuff and doing trades, instead of like, oh, this one looks cool, but I like that one and you like this one, let's do a trade because the arts are cool. Which is sad, and that's one of the main reasons why I started this YouTube channel, was to make the focus be on actually collecting and having fun, and also then how to navigate in a world where the whole entire rest of the community seems to only care about money. How does someone that just wants cool cards live in that world? Now, to the people commenting, oh, you're talking about money right now, so you're part of the problem too. It should go without saying, but to bring up money and value to say why it's a problem is not the same as having a ka-ching sound effect and confetti play every single time you get a really big value money card. Profit time. Woo! But price breakdowns, however, are very different, and I get similar comments about price breakdowns every time I do one in my review videos. If you don't care about value, why are you even talking about the value? So I'll get onto that later on in the video. Now, another reason I think it's kind of cringe to talk about the value of Pokemon cards is it changes your own perspective of the card itself. You might see a card and go, oh, that's cool, I wonder how much that is, thinking that it's like worth quite a considerable amount because it is to you in that moment because you think it's cool, and then you look up the price and it's only like £2, and you're like, oh, I feel like an idiot for thinking that card's cool because everyone else collectively in the world has decided, no, that's not a cool card, it's actually only £2. But if you're not going to sell that card, then the value of that card doesn't really matter. You should try and hold on to the thoughts and feelings that you had about the card before you found out its value monetarily, because you valued it a lot before the monetary value, if that makes sense. And to showcase this example, I wanted to watch a video from Pokylana, who's a fellow British YouTuber, shout out to her. And as you can see here, warning earphone users, so I'm giving you a warning. She gets a card that's really sick and goes crazy about it because it was her chase card. It was the card that she was really after. So we'll watch the video.
I'm giving you the option to do something reasonable here. So let's... Oh, you are joking! Oh my god! Oh my god!
that you are joking. It's such a delayed reaction as well. It's like she didn't believe that she pulled the fucking Misty's Lapras. And it's so sick. I completely understand her reaction to it because that is one of the best card arts that we've had of like Scarlet and Violet, in my opinion. And it is a really fucking sick card. Easily one of the top pulls for me in Destined Rivals. And that's saying something because Destined Rivals is pretty sick. Obviously, this is the Japanese version, but she's clearly, obviously, right, super happy with this pull. So I saw this short. I was like, that's sick. I love seeing people that actually like care about the cards that they're opening. And someone commented, it's like a £9 card, ... As though that the value of the card even matters slightly in a world where you care about the card, right? And then someone replied, people like you don't understand this hobby, clown emoji, which first of all, go get him. But also completely true. This is the kind of thing where I feel like I'm in the minority. I think most people in this hobby right now, granted a lot of them are just joining in the hobby, and also Court, I'm new to the hobby as in like as heavily into it as I am right now. I've been in and out, but I've only come back in the last like 6 months since I've been doing this YouTube channel. Maybe 8 months. I don't know how long it's been. But I truly believe that people that would say it's like a £9 card, most people wouldn't care about that card that Pokelator pulls because it's not actually one of the most valuable hits and they wouldn't go that crazy. Like, it goes value first and then if they like the card, which is just the wrong way around in my head, and it sucks and it's so annoying, and I wish more content creators actually cared about the art. Okay. Now, outside of content, I think caring about value is totally fine. I mean, Court, I do look up the prices of some of my Pokemon cards, even if I'm not going to sell them. And I think it's completely normal to do that. Curiosity, you're like, oh, I wonder how much this card is. But when I do look up the prices of a card, it's more like, well, I know I like this card. Let's see if other people do. Or to check if it's like rare or something. But I make sure to separate that from my own value of the card. And I don't use the price to validate like why I like it, you know? And likewise, there are cards that I don't think are as actually warrant the price that they are at all. Obviously, there's more to value than just how good the card is. There's vintage and rarity and all that. But like Moonbryon and Gengar from Fusion Strike are really cool, but they are definitely not worth the price tag that they're at currently, in my opinion. So monetary value for me definitely doesn't make a card better. So yes, I check prices of cards outside of YouTube videos because my main gripe with all of this is specifically content creation. If you're just a random person that wants to look up the value of your card or rip open packs like a degen and just skip to the back, go for it. There's nothing wrong with that. You should live your life however you want to and don't let other people tell you how to live your life. You know? But then if you're making content out of it and influencing others, I believe you have a duty as someone that is fostering a community to guide them in the right direction. And for me personally, I think for the Pokemon community as a whole, it's better to show a positive focus on collecting without there being a focus on the price of cards and making a profit. This also isn't to say that other creators are bad if they include the value of cards in their videos. Like I said at the start of this video, the reason that most people I think do it is to showcase to new people coming into the hobby what cards are rare and what cards aren't. And the easiest way to do that is to show how much someone would pay for this card. Just because I don't want to include it in my videos doesn't mean that other people that are doing it are like the devil. My standpoint is kind of like a chill vegan. Hey, I get if you don't want to eat meat, but I'm gonna do over here, I'm doing my own thing. I'm just deciding what I want to do with my content based on the state of the hobby currently. Okay. Now we're getting to the nitty-gritty part, and I don't want to be rude, but there has been some idiots in my comments over the last couple months saying that I'm a hypocrite because I don't want to talk about value, but then I do a whole price breakdown. So let me clarify for those people. Talking about value when you're buying or selling something is like the whole point of the buying or selling of the thing. And in my opinion, that is fine because it's literally the point. For example, if I buy Pokérev's mystery pack for $80 and you only get $40 worth of value from it, I think that's a useful bit of information to know when reviewing the product. And it definitely factors into whether it's worth buying or not. In the same way, when buying a full collection of Pokemon cards from someone, I'm trying to get a good deal that is fair for me and the seller, so therefore I'm going to be talking about the market value of that product. You should know if you're getting ripped off before buying something. Granted, hey, I've done my fair share of getting ripped off, stuff, but it's not because I wasn't looking into the value of those things. I am fully on board with checking the value of things before you sell them. You'd be insane to not do that. For example, if the only listings on eBay for a product are like £180, but then you check the last sold and see that they're all £150, then you know to hold off on buying that product for now. Talking about the value of products here is not attracting new people into the hobby to buy newly released Pokemon product at retail price and then resell it for a markup. And also, once I've bought the collection, I don't care about value anymore because I've already paid for them. The second that I don't have to worry about how much this actually cost, the individual prices for all these cards doesn't exist. I don't care. I've got them now. If I was then going to sell them in the future, sure, I would look up the prices before I sell them, obviously. But the reason that I care about these cards isn't because of their monetary value ever. I don't care about the collection because of its value, but if I'm going to buy it from someone, I have to pay money, right? That's the world that we live in. Sorry if you hate capitalism, but I didn't invent it. It exists. Okay, now to get into the nuance of what I was talking about before, where every creator shows money on screen whenever they get a hit, I think it's all about the attitude and the direction that you take when doing this. It's kind of like a vibes thing for me, and it's hard to explain, so I thought I'd showcase with some examples of times that it feels like you're opening Pokemon cards for a lottery and you're trying to win big, and then you're just showing the value of the Pokemon cards so that new people getting into the hobby have an understanding of the value. So let's take these two short form videos as an example. Both are pack openings that show values. First video is PokeRev.
I was so speechless after I pulled this card.
I'm not trying to I'm not trying to criticize right off the bat. I hate the AI voice, dude. The AI text-to-speech as voice. If this isn't a PokeRev thing, so many other creators do it. I'm not just hating a PokeRev. It's so cringe. I was so speechless after I pulled this card.
Oh, yes, baby. Oh, good job. Oh my God, crazy. Going for it would be sad.
I love this. There's a $5 one. Bro didn't even stop and care. That one, why did he include it in the short? It was on there for 2 seconds. PokeRev didn't even see it. Gollum, sorry, that's not a Charizard. That's only $5.
This is not real life. Just when you think it's gonna stop, it just doesn't. All right, here we go. Squirtle. Oh, monster.
That's so loud. I don't have my headphones on and I can hear it. That's crazy. So that's video number 1. Let's have a look at video number 2 to see how different it is. This time it's Short Pocket Monster, aka Deep Pocket Monster, on his Shorts channel. Everyone knows this guy, right?
Which box should I get? Giggity. Okay, let's play.
Should I open it
Or should I keep it sealed?
We got Paldate.
Okay, hey, Core. I like Deep Pocket Monster. I like Short Pocket Monster. I like his videos. Cool. I'm sorry. To be fair, I also like PokeRev's videos. I just don't like his shorts. But the jingle's just jingly, dude. It gets me.
And Fates, home of Bubble Mew, which would be an amazing pull.
It's Pikachu! It's Pikachu!
This set has a ton of cards, including a whole subset of shinies, like well over 100 of them. And so let's see what we get in the first pack. Clodsire EX, okay.
So already at the top, it's shown the top chase of this set and the thing that would be cool to pull. And then Pat's talking about the other potential cards that are really cool, like the shinies from this set, that would also be a good hit. In my opinion, the monetary value of the cards isn't really needed in this because he is explaining what the hits are and what would be good to pull. But I think you can see the difference already before we keep playing.
Hey, you know what? It's a hit. 1 for 1. That's better than we could say about a lot of previous videos. 2 for 2. The Espathra EX? Can we go 3 for 3? Dude. Toadscruel EX. I mean, these aren't the best pulls, but I'm just happy to get anything right now, so I'm doing good. But can we keep it going? 4 for 4. No, we cannot. That's okay. But you know what? We are also very close, approaching 1 year straight, daily, of videos. Pelipper.
Hey, shiny
no
Pelipper.
shot. We're doing
Nice.
pretty good. But can we end on a bang? Thanks for being with me for almost a year. Let's keep it going.
Wow, you didn't really do too bad. Why do you do this?
Don't judge me.
Okay, so for me, having the jingle being he didn't really do too bad is crazy there because monetarily, he did really bad, right? But because he got a lot of hits, it's like, oh, he didn't do too bad, even though the hits weren't monetarily valuable, right? You can see in the two examples the huge difference between the type of content and the way that they incorporate monetary value into their shorts. I mean, the craziest part to me is the big number in the middle of the screen is the PSA 10 quality value of all of these cards, which is just, why are we still doing this? Let me check. When was this video uploaded? This was January 2025. Why are we still in 2025 doing a PSA 10 evaluation of raw cards? In the bottom left, covered by all of the text and shit, you can see the real value of the cards raw. I digress. I hope you can see the difference in these two videos here in how that they showcase and talk about monetary value, and how one feels like you are just chasing hit after hit and you're enticing people to get into the hobby because you want to make a profit, and the other is using the monetary value of hits to show a new audience what might be considered a good hit out of this set. Both of these definitely contribute to the perception of value and monetary value in Pokemon, but in very different ways. And to go back to vendor POVs, let's have a look at these two examples. Let's start with Goated Pulls, who is infamous in the community, the Milky Bag King himself.
You know how much I paid for this?
800?
600. It was like a year ago. Last sold 35, right before 32.50. I bought it for fun too. I was just walking around. I was like, oh, it looks cool. Let me just buy it. Give me 3.
It's crazy to say this to the person that is about to buy it for $3,500, dude. It's insane. Yeah, I'm making $3,000 off this. Yeah, and what? And you're gonna give me that profit right now, you little bitch.
5, it's yours. 3-4, 3-6 flip.
3-4, I go buy it. Nope.
And then, of course, Milky Bags and coin flips are his whole thing. If you don't know Guilty Pool's content, he's obsessed with Milky Bags are like his mystery bags, by the way, if you were confused at me just saying Milky Bags all the time. There's seeded, like, graded slabs that are in there. It's how he made his name on, like, TikTok and whatnot and stuff. And now he does a bunch of vendor POVs where he'll go around flip coins to buy cards. It'll either be like $100, $200 like flip, where he's either out of $200 or profits $200.
You literally can't lose. It's impossible. I'm not going to get it again. Yeah? Let's do it. Damn. All right, so this is a Pop 27, Palkia, PSA 10, last sold 35. We're going to flip 3,400 or 30.
And see, like, even the talk about it, Pop 27, like, his population 27 isn't like there's only 27 PSA 10 of that card in the world. That's really cool. It just feels like all of these factors are nothing to do with the actual Pokemon card. Like, at no point is he gone, look at how cool this card is. He's like, it's worth a lot. I got it really, really cheap. It's a PSA 10, and there's only 27 of them in the world. They're the reasons why you should want this, not because the card looks cool.
3, 2, 1. Fuck, I lost again. I've lost like 6 flips in a row. 3,400. You know,
That is also crazy. Oh no, I lost. Yeah, you lost the coin flip, but you made $3,000 on that card, dude. Sorry. No hate. Sorry, no hate. I should calm down. As a bit of a palate cleanser, let's move on to another vendor POV that's got a very different style to it. This is from Coop's collection.
Hey man, how are you? You Charizard fan? Celebrations? I've got these Charizards if you'd like one. Do you have this one? Let me put it, you want it in a top loader? Yeah, for free. Yeah, absolutely. There you go. You're welcome. Oh, I actually
It's
have
so
some
sweet.
Let me take a look. Okay, the Dialga. Alrighty. The Professor Oak. Xerneas.
He's just giving him all the celebration cards.
no.
He's like, what do we want? Nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing. He gives them for free. Coop try and not give away Pokemon cards for free to children. Challenge impossible.
Enjoy them. You're welcome.
Later in the show, I died. I nearly cried watching this short before recording this video.
You did it? Awesome! Congratulations!
Oh,
Yeah,
it's so
thanks
sick!
so much. I appreciate you coming back and
It's just the little kid goes back and shows him that he's completed the set. He's like, look, you helped me complete this whole entire set of the card show. Oh, God. I'm actually tearing up. That's so sick. I hope it's apparent the two different, like, avenues that you can take when making content. And yes, there is a ton of gray area in the middle. And I'm not even saying that, like, either side is, like, good or bad. My point that I guess I'm trying to make is that just because your content is inherently around value, or just because you pop up values on the screen doesn't then mean that you make shit content, but there are levels and different ways to approach it that in my opinion can have a more positive or negative impact on the community as a whole. In an ideal world, all of these types of content could exist and it would be fine. But unfortunately, there's been a perfect storm. Pokemon has become increasingly hard to get at the same time as the content around it has become very money focused, which then invites people that only care about money into the hobby and makes new people feel like everyone here is only collecting for a profit. I personally think that collecting Pokemon should be about more than money and making a profit, and that's why I make my content without talking about prices as much as possible. My titles don't mention any money, and I try to keep monetary values out of my thumbnails unless it's showing me losing money. I want to make content for people who enjoy collecting, and hopefully make a difference in how people currently see the Pokemon hobby. That's it. That's the video. I know I talked about a bunch of creators in this video, and hopefully it doesn't start any sort of drama. That's not my intention. It was all meant to be in good fun and just poking the bear a little bit a couple times. And I actually like most of the content creators that I've mentioned in this video, even the ones that I'm criticizing. Just because you do something that I don't personally like definitely doesn't mean you're a bad person, and it doesn't even mean that I don't like your content. I'm just using the biggest content creators to put my point across. I'm also actively trying to do less drama-y videos and calling people out, like the Pokerev series. I genuinely was hoping there would be like a positive end to that video, but I don't blame Pokerev for it. If someone was making videos on me saying that I was a scammer, I'd probably hate the guy too. And I think in general, making videos on my own stuff and buying and collecting in the Pokemon card hobby is way more fun. So I'm going to try and stick to that from now on. So yeah, hopefully no one feels called out, because I'm just talking about why I don't talk about value. I'm not trying to shit on others that do. I've probably missed a couple of things, and I usually end up having to leave a pinned comment on my videos anyway, so check the pinned comment if I've missed some stuff. And next week we'll be back to our regularly scheduled Pokemon content. And if you like the sound of that, then subscribe, click one of these videos that's on the screen right now. This will probably be me collecting things, and hopefully nothing to do with drama. No drama here, just thoughts and opinions on Pokemon stuff. Okay, see you next video, guys. Bye.